Now, as Melbourne reports record-breaking numbers of new cases, much of regional Victoria has so far remained COVID-free. Not the case for Colac, a rural town in Victoria's southwest. 27 new cases have been recorded in the town. That's a quarter of all cases in regional Victoria. 13 of these alone have been linked to an abottoir outbreak at the Australian Lamb Company. Victorian Liberal MP Richard Riordan is the local member for Polwarth in Victoria's southwest and joins me now from Colac. Hello, Richard. You've said direct contacts of cases at the abattoir have waited more than 5 days for test results. Why is it taking so long?
Well, Rita, this is the $45 million question that the 10,000 people of Colac and District are asking tonight. We've just seen failure after failure of DHHS and its tracing system to get its act together. And the big question people in our rural community are asking, we heard and saw evidence back in May about the disaster at Cedar Meats, where contract tracing just took days and days. We've seen the disaster of the quarantine in our hotel accommodation in Melbourne, where we've had people waltzing in and out of quarantine as if, it doesn't matter. And here we are in our country community, a fantastic local community that's just working so hard to keep ourselves safe. We didn't have one case 5 days ago, and 5 days later, we've got the largest outbreak. We've got more people active and outbreaking than what's happening in the whole of New South Wales. And still, today, people who have been affected by this haven't been contacted by DHHS. And what's galling most people tonight, Rita, is Brett Sutton and the Premier stood up at their very late press conference today, told everybody we have all the resources, we've got all the equipment we need, we can do 1,000 people a day. Well, I can tell you this, Rita, there's 100 Year 12 students in my town that have not yet been contacted or followed up by this government. And for them to stand up and tell everybody that we've got it under control, it's just going to be another disaster. It's another setback. And if this is the way they're going to treat rural and regional Victoria over the coming months, then we've all got a very big problem ahead.
Well, you mentioned the school and those students not being contacted. That is a huge problem, and contact tracing in general seems to be a huge problem in this state. What's happening there? Because we are being told that enormous resources are going into that task, that they've got plenty of people on the ground doing the work. So why are we failing to effectively trace these infections?
Well, Rita, this is the big question. I mean, we heard just before we've gone to air tonight, the principal of the local school was on statewide radio, and he confirmed everything I've said. He said they haven't been followed up. None of the students have been followed up. The school's been asked to send out emails and make the contacts. Now, look, no one has an objection with pitching in and helping. That's what country people do really well. I mean, country people are well-versed at times of adversity when it comes to bushfires and floods and whatever other disaster comes our way. We like helping. That's not a problem. But when this state government won't let local communities help, is stopping and stifling at every opportunity the local community to get together and pitch in and help. We've had all sorts of offers in this community to help contact trace, to get the word out, put the right information out. And time again, there's different information going in different spots. It's simple, Rita. We manage bushfires well, we manage floods well, we manage them because we put one person in charge. We have a person that's well connected and someone that can bring all the groups in the community together, the local council, the hospital, the schools, all the agencies in the town that need to know what's going on, bring them in. At the moment, we've got families affected at schools, at primary schools, at kinders, right across the community, and no one's letting those various bodies know. It's just a hopeless system. And if Victorians want to know why we're having 400 a day being diagnosed with coronavirus and the rest of the country's not even, barely in double figures, people can absolutely rest assured it's incompetence and mismanagement at foot that's causing the problems here in Victoria. And we're all going to be paying for a very long time.
Well, that's sure true. But what can the Andrews government do to help regional Victoria? What is your advice? What would you like to see happen tomorrow?
Well, I think tomorrow we need to get someone down here, whether it's the federal government providing army resources to have a command and control here at the local level that can harness the fantastic resources and networks that this community has. Rita, for 4 months, this community has had its own, if you like, war cabinet running, and we've done a fantastic job. We were one of the few shires that did not have a coronavirus case. And here we are 6 days into having our first diagnosis. The only reason we know we have 27 is because this town swung its plan into place and got underway. The only reason that we know that we've got this problem in our town is because our town's got behind it. And for Brett Sutton and the Premier to say, we've got all the resources, we don't need any other extra help, we're doing a good job, and then that's just blatantly not true, then we have a problem. And this government can't fix a problem if it won't acknowledge it's got a problem and set about putting the necessary resources and expertise in place to help solve it. I mean, we have a CFA region headquarters here. There are people with skills and expertise in crisis management in our community already that could step up. They know all the contacts and people. They could do a marvellous job. There's opportunities to solve this problem and restore confidence in our community. And just at the moment, nothing's happening, particularly when the Premier and the Chief Health Officer have their head very, very firmly in the sand.
Now, Richard, one last question. Do you support closing down regional Victoria as a safety measure, or do you think you can manage this crisis with having most of regional Victoria open for business?
Well, Rita, in the first instance, I don't support a closing down of regional Victoria, and quite simply the reason is we're going to be suffering for a long time in regional Victoria with lack of tourism and other things. You know, people don't realise we just don't have the volumes of people out here to really help sustain businesses in a semi-hibernated state. But what we need more than anything is confidence that the contact tracing that all the other states in Victoria are doing so well with is going to be implemented here in Victoria. And we've got to stop having the Premier getting up each day and saying he's doing a good job and he's got all the resources and he's seeing people in 24 hours when it's just a lie. It's just a mistruth and it's not what's happening. And people in Victoria need to understand that we cannot possibly bring this wild horse to bay, haul it up and stop the spread of this virus when the work that we're being told is happening just simply isn't.
Thank you so much for your time, Richard.
Good, Rita. Thank you.